Well, I'm out today on the trek. Don't really know what we're going to talk about today because I've been testing a new microphone. I just wanted to see how it sounds, really. A lot of traffic out today. A little bit of a different route today. And when I say different, they're all roads I've ridden before, just not in this order. I'm thinking that in the summer I need to get a bit more adventurous, go out and try some new routes. This bike is filthy, and that's one thing I've really been struggling with this year, this winter. Trying to keep the bike clean, really difficult task. I went out on the Giant yesterday. I'd cleaned it, degreased the chain, re-lubed it, all of that. And then the time before yesterday, I went out in a bit of rain. When I took the bike out yesterday, the chain was all rusty again. Not much, you know, just bits of surface rust. Because of course, when I come back off a ride, I do hose the bike down. One thing I do find amazing is the amount of shit that the bike picks up. It's not just the wet, it's the gunk. And even on what look like relatively dry roads, you get back and the bike is filthy. And it's so difficult to keep up with. And I've got frustrated to the point, and I've even considered whether I need a winter bike. I've always resisted that temptation because you buy a nice bike because you like riding it, and then you spend half the year on an old piece of crap. But sometimes just the constant cleaning, re-lubing, it makes you think. I understand why some people do have winter bikes. Forgot to change down off the big ring for that hill. Must be stronger than I thought. One of the other things I thought about was getting a belt drive bike for the winter. No maintenance. And that thought is still in the back of my mind. But belt drive bikes are really expensive. And if you get one and find you didn't like it, you wasted a lot of money. And there's very few of them about. Because obviously you're thinking, just buy a second-hand one, give it a try. But because so few people bought a new one, there's very few second-hand ones around. So, which 22 are you in? That's right, catch 22. I got this Bontrager tail light, which connects to the GPS and switches itself on, because I'm hopeless and I'm always forgetting to switch the light on. The one thing I will say is the battery doesn't last very long. Every second ride, GPS is telling me tail light battery low. So yes, the trouble is you buy a bike because you really like it, but you ride your winter bike because you don't want to get your good bike dirty, and then the good bike becomes a bit of a waste of money. My son just bought a new bike, well I say just about a month ago. A giant Propel, and he hasn't ridden it yet because he doesn't want to take it out on dirty roads. So it's hanging up in his garage like an oil painting. As a child, I always remember my nan used to get new shoes, and you wanted to wear them because they were new shoes, and she'd say, keep them for best. And the trouble with keeping something for best certainly has been my experience through my life. There's no occasion is ever going to be best enough. And as somebody else on the YouTube pointed out, if you destroy a chain and cassette through the winter, it's still cheaper than buying another bike. But like most cyclists, I want lots of bikes. I like bikes. And I guess I am fortunate enough to be able to ride most of the year. I mean, don't get me wrong, the weather here is a lot more restrictive than South Africa. But unlike some parts of the world, I can ride most days, and I do love being out. It's really one of the greatest things about cycling, is being out and about. So the idea of an indoor trainer doesn't appeal to me. There was a guy, I was very involved in motor racing. I ran a race team. And there was a guy who used to race with, who, despite being incredibly wealthy, was very down to earth. Really nice person. And his passion was cars, and he spent all his money on cars. Didn't really have a big house. He did have 6 garages though. But he loved cars. And he had Ferraris and Porsches. He had a Porsche that was quite literally priceless. He tried to get an insurance quote for it, and they said the value is whatever it will fetch at auction. It's too rare to put a price on. But he raced that car in the historic series, and one day he crashed. I thought, oh, Jacques, how's the car? And he said, oh, we'll fix it. I said, but that car's priceless. And he said something. He said something which has always stuck with me. He said, it's worth nothing to me if I'm not using it. Because if I'm not using it, I may as well just have a picture on my garage wall. And of course the other problem I have is, where do I keep all of these bikes? Our house is at a garage conversion. We didn't convert it, the previous owners did. And it seemed like quite a nice idea at the time. Put our desks and our computers in there, and that was great. But it's only when you haven't got a garage that you realise how useful they are. I've spent the last couple of days creating a base to put a bike storage box on, so that my wife can have her shed back. Morning. And every time she sees me on the internet looking at bikes, she goes, "Are you looking at bikes again?" And I go, "Yep." And she says, "We haven't got anywhere to put them." So we'll see when the box is built. I think I'll probably have to limit myself to 3 bikes, and that's a lot for some people and very few for others. That's an audio junction. Can't see a bloody thing. All you can do is listen. Hope you can hear a car coming down the lane. Morning. I always find it interesting how far people go with their pushchairs. It's like when you're in the middle of nowhere and you see somebody on the side of the road and you think, where's he going? This is a lovely little village. And I'm guessing because it's a lovely little village, it's also very expensive. So, do I need a winter bike? Probably not. Do I want a winter bike? Yeah. But do I wish there was a bike wash, like a car wash? I certainly do. And they're so fiddly. And you spend ages with little brushes trying to clean bits. And then you look again and there's another bit you've missed. So if any of you got any bike cleaning tips, I'd love to hear them.